What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and welcome back to yet another post-match fan show. The post-match fan show is your opportunity, it is your chance to have your say on everything Tottenham related. But Sim, how do they have their say?
Well, before every single post-match fan show, the link for the fan show is in the description below, where you'll be taken to the back end. You'll be see everyone waiting, and before we bring you on live on the fan show, live on YouTube, to have your say. But gold members, all gold members get priority for the fan show because we have a lot of callers waiting, so we gave priority to gold members. But how do you become a gold member?
I'm glad you asked me that, Sim, because it is very, very easy to become a gold member. There's actually two tiers of memberships: silver membership and gold membership. Silver membership, you get custom emojis, you get badges next to your name saying how long you've been a member, and you get monthly shout outs. But for the gold membership, you get everything that is in the silver perks, plus you get priority to come on to each and every one of our post-match fan shows. But not only that, you get monthly prizes as well. 3 gold members every month get called out from a hat on our last live watch long of every single month. And the 3 prizes are: the third prize will be a flag and a program. The second prize will be one of these lovely We Are Tottenham TV shirts. We have 8 colours of them. Link in the description, by the way, if you want to buy one. And number one prize for the giveaway is a signed Tottenham Hotspur shirt. So our first month, we gave away a signed shirt from Toby Alderweireld, and we have got many more signed shirts to give away. So click the link below, join our gold membership, and be in it to win it.
All right, now is the time for you guys to have your say. I want to hear your opinions on all things Spurs and the latest match action. Looking forward to having you guys on and hearing your opinions.
All right, we'll see you on the fan show. Come on, you Spurs. What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another post-match fan show. Some Tottenham let it go yet again in another game in the last 5 minutes, last 10 minutes. Another set piece conceded today. I mean, how do we dissect that, Sim?
Yeah, I mean, it's deja vu. It is deja vu from a lot of games we've seen this season from Tottenham. And it's a problem of... No, I've just watched Mourinho's post-match interview, and he was talking about it wasn't a lack of quality, it was a lack of ambition, a lack of desire to go for more goals. But he says he knows the problem. He keeps saying he knows the problem. He keeps saying it's not what he's saying. But why aren't they listening to him? Or why? Or what's the problem then? That falls on him if that's the case. Because if he knows the problem, he can't fix it. Then he has to take a lot of the blame for that, because he should be rectifying what he's doing on the pitch, because it's a theme throughout many games this season that we haven't shown ambition in the second half when we've taken the lead to go and kill off the game. The only difference really between these games and, you know, the games against Arsenal and City, and is the only difference is we got the second goal in those games, and these games we didn't. That's pretty much the only difference, because we defended well in today, just like we did against City and Arsenal. We defended from open play. We look rock solid from open play. It's just we don't have ambition to kill off the game, and then we're always liable from set pieces to concede, and it is costing us points after points after points this season. And it's getting to a stage where it's going to end up costing us big time by the end of the season. That's the reality now.
Yeah. I know, and it's very hard to take as well because, you know, like you said, Jose, after every game, he keeps saying, oh, I didn't tell the players to do that. I know the problem and this and that. But the same thing keeps happening every game. So, I mean, whose fault is it? I mean, is it the players? Is it Jose for the negative I just don't get it. I'm a bit lost at the moment to see what actually is the real issue. I mean, is it the coaching at set pieces? Is it Jose telling them not to go up and kill the game? But he says he goes on and tells them to kill the game. So, I mean, I just don't get it, to be honest. I really don't.
It's frustrating. It is frustrating what the truth is as well. It's hard to know. And because obviously we're not inside the dressing room. But, you know, when we did see the documentary and stuff, we did see Mourinho telling his players, press high, attack more, be brave, don't be scared to play. He was saying all these kind of things. But we're not seeing it being borne out. Pretty much since the West Ham game, there hasn't been borne out on the pitch. We haven't attacked as effectively. Only really that first stuff against Palace, you probably argue, when we created a lot of chances. That was that we haven't played a lot of football since then. We've just been defending, and it's just a theme that we're getting an early goal or getting a goal and sitting back, and it'll be all right if we look dangerous on the counter, which we did on occasion. But we need to be much more consistently dangerous. We need to be a threat throughout the game. We can't just have moments. We need to be making Wolves think about us throughout the game. We can't let them switch off. At the moment, teams are just switching off against us and dominating the ball.
At the moment, you know, we missed opportunities. How many?
A lot, because for some reason we keep fans could say the same thing. You know, we've also missed opportunities, blah blah. But it's just frustrating because I know I'm looking at the team.
Is the stream off? Oh, it's back. Okay.
I'm looking at the team and looking at the performances, and all the ingredients are there. There's nothing missing. Like, all the ingredients from this team are there. We can, when we want to attack, we attack really well. When we've shown throughout the season, defending from open play, when we're very near impenetrable, where teams can't really break us down or score against us. That's also a positive. But the balance just doesn't seem right at the moment. And we've got to get sorted.
I just don't get why we're not going off to kill games. You cannot defend leads week in, week out at 1-0. You just can't do that. And Jose is well experienced enough to know that.
And why is why every time we concede the late goal, and then all of a sudden we look like we can play football again, and we create chances and we go forward and we played nice football. And why? Why can't we do that throughout the game? What is stopping them? I don't understand. It's something that has to be sorted.
All right, let's start getting some guests on. Let's start off with Alex. Tottenham therapy is underway.
Oh,
how's it going, Alex?
Yeah, not bad. I still owe you the money for the last session. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start, to be honest.
I mean, you made such an effort to clean the room today, so I thought I may as well mention
it. maybe free of charge today.
Yeah.
I'm honestly just. I mean, everyone was saying it at 70 minutes, 80 minutes, it's 1-1. When's 1-1 gonna happen? We all knew it was coming, and just like clockwork, here it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone can't blame Mourinho today. It is on Mourinho, also on the players, but especially on Mourinho. When this becomes a characteristic of the team, bottling a 1-0 lead in the final few minutes of a game, that's a question of the mentality of the team, but also of the manager. Because the manager is not pushing on. I don't care what Mourinho says, that he says, oh no, I don't know, why didn't we go and kill the game? I don't care, because he was the one who took Ndombele off and replaced him with Sissoko, when Winks was the one who was on a yellow card and playing terribly. So I don't know, and then takes off Son. Maybe he saw someone's tired, brings on Lamella, but that Ndombele substitution was just epitomised today, to be honest. What an awful substitution. I'm just really lost for words, and like you guys, just don't really get it. I just don't get it. Everything's changed since the West Ham result. It's like he doesn't trust the team to play football. And as you said, and every time we concede, suddenly, let's go. Let's go. We've got a few minutes. Let's go. And we never get that goal. Never happens. Look, I think that real question.
Got it against Brighton.
Got against Brighton. Were we 1-0? I can't even remember that game.
Yeah, 1-0. Yeah,
it was 1-0, and then we got a late goal.
Works once out of how many? How many points have we now dropped?
Yeah.
We had to win today. Especially since teams around us drop points. The top 10 are very, very close together. It's not as though this result is a disaster, end of season stuff. It's not. None of this whole week, the past 2 weeks, none of it's been, apart from title race ending. It's not a disaster. It's not the end of the world. It's not Jose out. Time to be sacked or anything. It's ridiculous. I'm behind Mourinho. I think that he is going to deliver us a trophy this season. Top 4 maybe is going to be more questionable if this continues. But I think he is going to win us a trophy, and I think that would be really great. And I've said it literally since Mourinho's come in, with his style of football, which, we are now sort of playing more, the sort of generic Mourinho trope of football. If we play that way of football, we have to get the results, and we just aren't doing that. It's simple as that.
But why aren't we getting the results? What is the cause of all these late goals from set pieces? Because you got to say, you got to give credit where credit's due. We're defending very well from open play. That's the truth, because we're barely conceding a chance, let alone a goal from open play at the moment. But we're consistently, I think every time we've let one of these leads slip, it's been a set piece. I think every single time. So how have they not identified this issue and sorted it out by now?
I think, I'm not sure who the set piece coach is. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe it's Sacramento. Maybe it's Mourinho. Maybe it's King. Someone there needs to sort it out, because the players sure as hell don't know how to defend. My heart, whenever we get a free kick in like the 80th minute, my heart sinks, because you feel like, this one's going to go in. It's going to be this one.
Yeah.
And you have to say that, of course, the defense has improved massively. Of course, the defense has. I thought Ben Davies, obviously, he was the cause of their goal, but he played decently well from open play today. He did well to keep out Traore, but for what? All for what? Because we just cannot defend a set piece, and it's getting absolutely ridiculous. And for those that are very Mourinho suspicious, and not Mourinho out, but people like me who are always a bit not fully on board the Mourinho train from the beginning, it's just giving us more to chew on, to be honest. More questions. When the squad looked so strong, so good for the first weeks this season after the Everton game, and for it all to be thrown away like this is just really disappointing, because the squad we have there is really, really good, and I don't get it. It doesn't add up. Kane and Son can have an off game, right? They were poor today, Kane and Son. But you can't, and this has been the point, you can't rely on Kane and Son to perform every game. Where's Vinicius? Where is he? Well, he's disappeared off the face of the earth.
Well, apparently there was a COVID situation today.
If there was a COVID situation, then fine. Nothing you can do. That's the situation of the world right now. But the fact is, we haven't seen Vinicius in Premier League games for a while.
Since West Brom.
So, I don't know what to say about that. I see. Yeah, maybe Lucas was caught up in that as well today. That's them gone for a while, maybe.
Yeah.
And look,
days.
Yeah. The thing about today was it was such a good opportunity, because when you look back to how we were playing against teams during the really good phase of the season, we played really well against open teams who'd like to play football, and Wolves are that. They do actually like to play football. They've moved to a possession-based system this year, and we should have taken the points today. Absolutely, because this is the exact same sort of team that Jose likes to play against, who we can just counter-attack. But if you go 1-0 up, you don't stop. And I'm getting really sick and tired of it now. I'm getting
I
really
agree.
sick and tired of it because it's just not. We're not Sheffield. We're not West Brom. We're Tottenham, and actually, we shouldn't be the sort of club that just sits in a 1-0 lead and hopes and prays the rest of the game. I feel like there is an art to defending. I've seen Mourinho as a football fan. Mourinho has shown me that there is more to just attacking in football, and actually defending is an art in itself. But you can't do it for 90 minutes. And it's just funny that we scored in the first minute because you can literally say from minute 1 we defended for the whole 90. Only when they score suddenly they're awake. And we've got the players. That's the thing. We have the players. It's not like we don't have them.
Yeah.
One player, Sabitzer coming in January, if it even happens, if we even have money, I can promise you it's not going to change it. It's not going to change the whole thing. Something has to happen in this squad. Some sort of tweak that I don't know what it is. I've got no idea what the problem is, but it's up to Mourinho. I believe he'll fix it. I believe in him. From what the football we've played this season at times has been really, really good. We know we have the potential. Where's it gone?
Yes.
Let's end on a positive though. What positives did you see out there today from any individuals?
Oh, Ndombele was just fantastic, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. He was absolutely. That run he made down the middle was just brilliant. If only he passed off to Kane, but
yeah,
he was dominating the Wolves midfield, just making a mockery out of them. What a player he is. Again, open play defending has been better, as we've already said. Great. Not what cost us the goal though. It's difficult because it was clear that Jose actually kind of got the tactics wrong from minute 1, and in a way he had to adapt because we set up for a back 5 clearly. Reguilon was never meant to start on the wing, which we kind of had to because Wolves went for a back 4. So Jose did adapt in that way, which shows maybe he can adapt tactically in situations. There's not a lot to go on here. You just it's next game, isn't it now? It's Fulham, isn't it?
Yeah.
A couple of days. Boy, we better win that game, or things are going to get a lot more heated in the Tottenham fan base. I can tell you that much. And I know football fans really, really like to jump from one boat to another on things, but I can tell you, I will seriously be considering not whether Jose should be sacked, whether he should be given another season at the club if we don't get a result. It's Fulham. We really should be getting 3 points against Fulham, who are in a relegation battle
at home as well. Yeah,
at home, and we'll see though. I don't know. Maybe we'll concede from another set piece. Probably.
You go 1-0 down might help us.
If we go 1-0 up against Fulham and then go and defend from there, I don't. I won't know what to think.
Could you imagine?
I won't know what to think. Seriously.
Oh yeah. Look, I think we'll get a result. I think we'll beat Fulham. But it doesn't matter. We should have won today. This game was there for the taking. Also a great team. Usually, Bruno was right in his interview after the game when he said, 1-1 against Wolves, not a bad result. But considering it's a terrible result because we were 1-0 up in the first minute of the game. And I tell you what, if we don't get a result next week, yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad.
Happy New Year, Alex.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Speak to you soon, Alex. Thanks for coming on.
Speak to you soon.
We have a super chat here from Big G. He says, I'm massively reluctant to criticise Mourinho this season, but he's very culpable for what happened. Let the game drift for too long. We've been far too apprehensive since the West Ham game. And it's hard to disagree with that.
I know.
It was very difficult to. We had a couple more super chats actually, which we missed. One sec. Here, Mr. Bra Says Jose out. We are not going to win anything. This negative play will not take us anywhere. Manny Man, all 3 substitutions were wrong ones. And that is that for now.
All right, let's get the Irish yid on. Hopefully.
Oh, and we just got Gaffy 1996. It took Jurgen 4 years for success. Give Jose some time. It's a good point.
All right, let's get the Irish yid on. Let's hope he can cheer us up for sure. How's it going, David?
Hey, David.
Lads, I'm angry today. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Ben. Look, if you want to be cheered up, I reached 500 subs by Christmas.
Congratulations.
That's something.
And you
well
lads
done,
definitely
David.
had a
Well
lot
done,
to say
David.
in that. So that's the only joy I can bring you today, Ben. Unfortunately, look, it's. I was listening to Alex there, and I like what he was saying. He's my type of guy, but he needs to go further. To be honest with you, like the set piece, he was reluctant to call out the problem. Ben Davies let his man go. As well as Davies played up to 7 minutes, it's a 90-odd plus game. You know, it's individual mistakes. It's not good enough. Sim, your boy Harry Winks, what do you think of his performance there?
I thought his passing wasn't great, but I thought he did a lot of good stuff in the defensive thirds. And he did a nice pass for Reguilon, who probably could have done better with it. Apart from that, it was a bit average.
Yeah, that's why I was saying not to get too hyped up over Stoke. He
wasn't that bad. I don't think he was that bad.
Look, he wasn't great. He got yellow card and then he wasn't able to tackle.
It was a good yellow. It was a good yellow.
Yeah, but look, he was too weak as well. You know, he kind of just let players run by him. It's not good enough in there.
Yeah, he was on a yellow. That's why he should have been taken off.
You have to play him Winks as well. I love your passion towards him, but Sim, if you want to see passion, put me out on the field. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it isn't good enough. But as well, look, I see a lot of people saying Mourinho out. That's not the answer. I'm afraid it's not. Look, I'll admit he got the tactics wrong today. To be honest with you, it's 2 very tactical managers that the thoughts got the best of them because they both set up thinking how each other were going to play. So look, we had to adjust, and look, the substitutions Mourinho got wrong. But the biggest talking point, lads, I'm fed up with sitting back now. You know, you go 1-0 up, you're well able to carve these teams apart, and then to sit back and try and grind it out. It's not acceptable. Like, I can accept that after we score for maybe 5-10 minutes. You know what I mean? Short things up, make them lose a bit of hope, but then you have to go for the kill, no?
Yeah, no, you have to go for, like I said in my instant match reaction, it's inexcusable to keep losing games like this in last minute set piece. It's like a common theme in every single one of our drop points this season. It's either a set piece or something, you know what I mean? It's just like the same thing keeps happening over and over again. And when we go 1-0 up in every single game since that West Ham game, we sit back and we just pretty much rely on our defending from open play to get us through the game. But if we get a set piece, we're completely fucked. So what do we do? And who do you put it down to?
Look, to be honest with you, lads, I was thinking about this. Me and Matty Hayes and Marcelo were talking. My opinion is right that, like, look, we all thought we had great squad depth. It hasn't turned out to be that way. We have players that Mourinho put some trust in to try and do jobs like in the Europa League and stuff like that. That hasn't worked out. So then we've had to overuse the likes of Kane, Son, Højbjerg. So now they're tired. The players that have let us down time and time again are still doing it. So look, there does have to, some players have to go. We have to try and get them out, use the money and reinvest in this squad. Give Jose the players he wants. And then if it doesn't work, then I can come on and start heavily criticising Jose. But for me, it's the players and players mentality. Like, look, that's another individual error today. Like Ben Davies, you know what I mean? He reacted when it's too late. Way too late. He let his man go.
At the end of the day, David,
Harry Kane on the front post should have cleared it as well.
At the end of the day, I get what you're saying about Davis, and you're right. It was his man. He completely let him go. It was an individual error. But the guy had a really good performance today. He played very, very well against Adama Traore. Yeah. And you're looking at his individual mistake, which has cost us the game, which has. But every single game, it's someone else that's making an individual mistake from a set piece. Every game it's someone else. So, I mean, you can't keep going, oh, it's his mistake, it's his mistake. It's us as a unit and as a team defending from set pieces. That's the problem.
Yeah, I can get that. But, like, the thing is, he was exposed to this. It's individual errors. I get what you're saying. It's individual errors. But we have to call the players out on them when they make it. Like, I'm not only blaming Ben Davies, Harry Kane as well. He has to be better at the near post. He has to get his head to that. He has done it time and time again. But the thing is, like, some of these players, like I said with the likes of Ben Davies, Sim, like, I get he had a good game today, but it's a 90-plus minute game. It's a 90-plus minute game. There's no good playing good for 87 minutes and then doing what he done today. It's cost us. And the thing is, it is other individuals. Like, look, Eric Dyer has been poor. Harry Kane has been poor. Do you know what I mean? I'm not afraid to call these players out. But at the end of the day, like, the reason why I'm saying Ben Davies is because it's his mistake that cost us. And it's a 90-odd minute game. And that's why we drew today, because he switched off.
That's why we conceded, but it is why we drew. Because when you're 1-0 up, and when throughout the game as well, you got to say Wolves didn't really threaten our goal that much throughout the whole game. So when you're not getting that much threat from the opposition, surely you have to push on a bit when you have the opportunities and try and get that second goal. And then all of a sudden that mistake isn't as relevant as it would have been today.
Yeah, but like you were saying, right? You seen in the documentary that he's telling these players to play a certain way. So again, it falls on the players because they're not implementing.
Yeah, but that's his fault as well if they're not implementing it.
Yeah, it is, but there's only so much he can do. Like, he's hauled off Dyer before against Olympiacos. He hauled off Van Dombele against Leicester and that. He's left Ali out of the squad to try and make statements with these players. This is the thing. He's tried everything he can with them. We can't blame Jose for not trying. He's tried everything he can with them. At the end of the day, this is the way we've played that got us the results to where we are. And it's the way he believes that we can get over the line. Because, like, but as well, now it's not working. I do agree. We do need to try something else. But the thing is, the players have to be held accountable as well. We have to start putting more blame on the players. We can't just keep, making excuses for them as well.
I think players are taking enough blame. I think Jose needs more blame, but I think I think Jose just needs more time with the group. I think he's still, although he's been here a year, it hasn't really been a proper year. And I think, as people said, like, it took Klopp a while to get his ideas really fully implemented into his team, and maybe it's going to take Mourinho a bit more time to get his. But people would argue this is how Mourinho wants to play, and there is his implementation. This is why we're costing us results.
At the end of the day, if you look at the bigger picture, we signed 7 players this year. No,
yeah.
When have you ever seen 7 players come into a club and everything gels straight away like normal and everything goes and you go on to win the league? You know what I mean? That just doesn't happen. Usually there's a bedding in period, especially if there's from players coming abroad and stuff like that, which is acceptable. But we went top of the league and we were playing well and we looked like we could beat anyone, and we all got carried away and we were like, oh, we're going to win the league now. We're title contenders. We're this, we're that. We got Jose Mourinho. He's a winner. But when you look at the bigger picture, maybe we got to look at it and say, look, we just need to still top 4 this year and we need to gel this team together, and then maybe next year we can go for a title race. I mean, maybe that's the way we got to look at things. But then defending from the set pieces doesn't get away from that. Yeah, look,
Benji, I get what you're saying, and to be honest with you, look, we're still only 6 points off top. I'm still confident, you know me. Come on, I'm never going to say let's be honest. I like to look on the positive things.
Well, it's still
it is an opportunity to miss today. Right. But what I want to know, like, from you is, like, if you don't think it's the players, then what do you think it is?
I think it's a combination between everything. I mean, the same thing happens every game. I don't understand how it's not instruction, but then again, I don't understand how an experienced manager like Jose Mourinho can be instructing them to do that. So I'm kind of lost to see. I don't know. I really don't know.
But do you not agree that he's tried to bring off players and try with players to make a statement to get a reaction, and that they're just not reacting?
I do agree. I don't
know if they're not reacting. I think we have seen improvements on a lot of players. So I wouldn't say when they're not reacting to it. But what I would say is, at the moment, I don't know. It's a difficult situation because I think during in 90 minutes during the play, we're not as attacking as much, nowhere near as much as I'd like, but
Yeah.
we are defending very well. So, you know, you got to give credit to Mourinho in that sense, because we are defensively, we do look pretty solid. But it's just these fine margins at the end of games which are costing us, but they're always likely to cost you when there's only a goal in it. So I understand Mourinho playing like he does, playing this kind of, when we play defensive football and we're 2 goals up, but when it's only 1-0 and the game's in the balance for such a long period of time, it only takes one moment of luck, one loss of concentration, which is always going to happen in every game. It will happen. It's whether you get away with it or not is another case. And we're just getting away with it at the moment.
But then I put it to you like this then, Sim. Like, so you were saying there, like, basically, you know, like 1-0 up, like, I agree, yeah, I do want to see us playing more attacking. But then you look at it the other way. Like, if we do go more expansive, do you trust the likes of Ben Davies? Do you trust the likes of, like, Matt Doherty even? I'll throw him in there. Do you trust the likes of Winks and all to have the bottle, to have the nerve to hold out?
Yeah, but you're talking about 3 players there which aren't nailed on starters.
Yeah, but they're like,
got regular.
Dyer as well. Like, the thing actually, do you know what? We'll go as a whole squad as a whole. Do you trust these players that like to hold out? Do you think they have the nerve and the bottle? No. But the reason why I do call certain players out is because they're the ones here the longest, and it's the same team we see time and time again.
The thing is, I genuinely believe if we go out there and go try get that second goal, go try get that third goal, then sit back, I don't think we would have an issue. You look at when we're going for the jugular and trying to get a goal, we can get it. In those first 10 minutes of a game, we look really good. But then we just drop back and revert back into our shells. Why do we do that?
But what I'm saying is like Mourinho doesn't trust these players to go for the kill for the second goal because he knows these players have individual mistakes in them.
But they've got individual mistakes in them
that's
anyway.
Even more reason, that's more reason to go for the second goal if they have more individual mistakes, not less reason.
Yeah, but because
then you've got more than
Mourinho is. It's because the type of the manager Mourinho is. We all know he likes to show up from the back first. So that's why we are seeing what we're seeing. It's because of the way his mindset is. But at the end of the day, like, it's the players out on the field.
Yeah. Maybe it's a case of he wanted that centre back in and we never got him in a Skriniar or Ruben Diaz or whatever.
We know that for a fact.
But maybe that's why our defence ain't that good because obviously there's centre backs in the squad that he didn't fancy.
Yeah. Look, I fully agree with you. I agree with everything you say. I hope you kind of understand what I was trying to get at point.
Yeah, I understand everything you're saying, David, and I think certain parts of what you're saying is right completely. But you know, football's a game of opinions, and we're not going to agree on everything at the end of the day.
And just on the transfer window, what do you make of David Ornstein coming out saying Tottenham won't spend this January?
I mean, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. I mean, I was surprised that we spent in the summer. Yeah.
And look, it doesn't surprise me. It was always going to be, for me, a case of we have to sell Dubai in January. And I thought it was always going to be that. Look, we did hear these noises in the summer and it changed. So maybe it could change in January as well. You never know. But I'm not surprised in the slightest.
Hopefully Uncle Joe can find a few extra million under his mattress.
Yeah, I wouldn't put...
Hopefully he gave Mourinho a nice Christmas present with a good few million in it to spend... because I honestly do believe we do need to invest in January, or this is the first time I'm going to say this, but this season could end in disappointment.
Yeah, I think we really need a backup for Højbjerg, like desperately, because you know we're one injury away from him to complete collapse, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. And plus, I honestly believe if it's a luxury, but if he could go and get another centre back, I honestly believe he'd probably slot in straight beside Toby Alderweireld if we can get it.
Yeah. Well, judging by this season, he's probably going to slot next to Dyer because Dyer's pretty much started every game. Yeah. But we'll see. Anyway, David, pleasure having you on as always. Thanks for giving your opinions.
All right, thanks, David. Thanks for coming.
Congratulations for 500 subs, mate.
Everyone go subscribe to the Irish Yid. You know the deal.
You know what the score is. Look, I'm on the big push for 1K now. And also quickly, I'd love to get you on again for another show. Even if it's just asking you a bit, like, you know, about your life and how you fell into this sort of crack and how's it going for you and stuff like that. Get your story out there. Let all the fans know. It's up to you.
Yeah, we'd be more than
Yeah, we'd
happy
love
to
to.
come on, David. We love supporting your channel, so no problem at all.
Thanks very much. Roll on, Fulham. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
All right, come on. We have a few super chats here.
Yeah, let me just read this out before you go on, because Grandpa's having a bit of problems trying to connect to the back end. So he sent me a message to read out instead. He said the problem is that Kane and Son have played too much football, should never have taken off Tungi, and should have brought on Bergwijn earlier. That's all he said.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think everyone's bringing up the Tungi thing, which I think logically you would say makes sense. But then you go to you think of last season, and you think of a lot of times this season he just gets tired.
But he didn't seem tired though. That was the thing.
Yeah, he didn't seem tired, but I guess it's difficult.
You can't just go and look at the past games and last season. I mean, you got to look at the guy on the pitch.
He gets tired of the same spot every single game.
Yeah, and this was a bit later in the game, and he didn't look tired.
But maybe he was tired. He just didn't look it.
Maybe.
We've got a guy who says, we go to every game to win. What a joke. Oh, he goes, quote, we go every game to win. What a joke. He's saying that's not true. We got RF Productions, who says, everyone blames Jose but refuses to acknowledge the sloppiness. Some players need to go. His tactics get scapegoated because his players let him down. And then we had another one here from Colin Lumsden. Don't blame Davis. It wasn't his fault. And if Jose can't get the players to play, what the hell was he doing there?
Yeah. All right, let's get to Marcelo.
Come on,
Marcelo. How's it going, mate?
Could be better, Could be better.
Tell me about it.
I went on a little bit of a rant on Matty Hayes' channel. I kicked my desk. I was pretty upset. But the thing I was more upset about was that I kind of predicted everything was going to happen.
I think everyone did, to be honest.
You cannot, but like even the substitution, everything. I predicted what Mourinho was going to do, and I predicted where we're going to concede. And you can ask Matty Hayes this. I said it. As soon as I saw Bergwijn, we were shouting to take off Kane. Kane looks dead, man. He looks like a zombie. He's being overplayed. And I don't know why we haven't played Vinicius in these other games. We've been playing Kane in these Europa games and these cup games, and this is what's happening. We got Vinicius, and, don't tell me about the whole COVID thing because he was available back then. You know what I mean? But we just didn't pay him. So it's like, what's the point of getting a backup striker, a good one, if we're not going to play him, if you're not going to put trust in him? So I'm going to blame that on Jose. And listen, I'm not Jose out. I already said it. As soon as Jose came, he has 2 full seasons. Last season doesn't count because he came in halfway through the season. For me, he has 2 full seasons, 2 full summers to get it right. And I'm willing to be patient, even if this year ends, badly. I'm still willing to give him another chance next season. I'm a very patient guy. But where I'm going to blame him is he keeps putting the usual suspects. He keeps putting Eric Dyer. He keeps putting in Davies. And look, Davies didn't even have that bad of a game. He was at fault for the goal.
No, Davis.
He was my man of the match before, the goal. Now I gave it to Tanguy.
No,
but
he did very well
was
up
good
against Traore.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah, he did very well. But the thing is, it's the same thing. It's like what I say to you. What do I say about the usual suspects? They play 90 minutes good, and then they have the one brain fart. It's either Davies, it's either Eric Dyer, or it's either Sanchez. It's hot potato time, you know what I mean? Roll on the Welsh Maldini.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. And it's like, for me, I keep saying this, and people say, oh, no, you can't trust, Rodon, you know what I mean? He doesn't have experience and this and that. But, like, what I do know about these defenders is that they keep doing individual mistakes. So why not try something new? Why not try the Welsh Maldini? You know what I mean? We played him against Chelsea.
Rodon's only played 90 minutes, and he made a couple of individual errors that game.
Yeah, listen, he did. But, you know what I mean? It was his first game against a very tough Chelsea. You know what I mean? You also have to put these things in perspective. And I think also the fact is, you look at Dyer, he's played every game. He's probably tired. We arrested Toby for Stoke. For what? So we can put him on the bench against Wolves. Just doesn't make any, like, that's where I'm going to question Jose there, you know what I mean? And you keep asking me why do we invite so much pressure? Why do we invite so much this? I'll answer it to you. It's because when we score a goal, it's an individual brilliance, right? From either Kane or Son or, maybe a Nobeller. It's either one of them, it's an individual brilliance. And then we sit back, and then these oppositions understand how much pressure they can get away. Because our back line cannot pass, and that is the issue. Our back line can, like, unless we have Toby is the only one that can make a dangerous pass from that back line. He's the only one that can threaten. You see, when they press Toby, Toby pings it to Son and Kane, and all of a sudden we're on a threat. You know what I mean? You give Toby open space, he'll take it because he's a smart defender. He knows how to read the space and passing. And the issue is Dyer, Davies, these other guys, they don't understand the ability of passing. And if you look at any great team, any great back line, one of the key aspects is being able to pass from the back and being dangerous from the back. And we're not dangerous from the back. So these teams, when they concede a goal, they go and press us. They see how easy it is to press us. It's easy because the back line panics, and then we can't get the ball to the midfield. It's sloppy. And then, like I'm not even gonna get on these other players back because at the end of the day, it's not Harry Wink's fault that he's playing. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think Winks is good enough. I know you think of otherwise, Simon, but I simply I just don't think he is. But I'm not gonna get on his back because it's not his fault. He's going out there. He got a yellow card. It is what it is. You know what I mean? He tried, but like these same players are costing Jose games, but he keeps playing them. It's like the definition of insanity, trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. At a point, you got to change something up. And listen, I don't know if you watch the under-23s. I do sometimes, and I think Harvey White. I say give him a shot. Give him a shot in these cup games. Put him as a substitute. Give him 20 minutes here and there. You know what I mean? I know people say, oh, yeah, he's young at this. But look at Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest managers of all time. Sir Alex Ferguson even said, every season he looks at the academy and he always gives a player he felt deserves a chance because these academy players can surprise you. And they can. You look at Lampard this season. He spent over about 200 million and he did nothing at all. He spent 200 million and look at him. He's doing worse. Last season he played the academy and he looked a lot better. So these academy players.
Look at Arsenal on the weekend against Chelsea. Yeah. They couldn't win a game for two months, and they suddenly play a few academy players and they beat Chelsea and outfought Chelsea.
Absolutely. Give these young players a chance. They're full of energy. They understand the badge, and they're out there to prove themselves. You know what I mean? I think some of these players that's been here for long enough, I think Winks, I think, Davies, I think some of these other players, I just feel like we've given them enough seasons. We've given enough a chance, and, they haven't been proving us wrong. And it's like, well, it's time to give someone else a chance. Trying to give the younger kids a chance. Fresh blood.
So last time we spoke, Marcelo, you said you were still confident for the title.
Yeah.
You're still confident?
Yeah, absolutely.
Without flinching as well. I love it.
100%. No, Liverpool dropped points today. We should have closed the gap. But Liverpool still gave us a chance. The fixtures are very tight, man. Fixtures are very tight, and one win could get us second place. And if a team drops points, we can go second, we could go eighth. It's just the nature of the table right now. But it's frustrating. Listen, it's frustrating because we could have been 4 points off Liverpool. We're still 6, but I still believe in my manager to close off 6 points. But listen, although I think we can challenge for the title, we should be challenging for the title. I think some of these players have been bottle jobs and, not good enough. But then again, Jose keeps playing them, so it's his fault. I think we can still push it, and I think we still can fight. And we got a long season ahead of us, man. And I know there's the rumors that we're not going to spend in January. You never know. Levy never leaves his card. He never shows his cards. He's a magician, man. He never shows his tricks. You know what I mean? Levy doesn't show his tricks. So you never know. And if we get a good signing, that could change the whole season for us. That could change if we get a Sabitzer, that could change the whole season. If we start playing the Welsh Maldini, oh my God.
Yeah, maybe.
Marcelo, absolute pleasure as always, man. Thanks for coming on.
Nice one, Marcelo.
Come on, you Spurs.
Cheers for coming on as always. All right. We missed any super chats. No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, yeah, we did. Kev Williams says, need to play like we did against Man United and Southampton. Yeah,
well, second half of Southampton anyway.
And Harry Gilliam says, Tottenham equals Marseille, bottle jobs. Marseille. So what, we got AVB back in charge, do we? Fantastic.
Shame Christian Gross took a job today. Let's get Matt Hayes on.
Yeah, can't Matt.
Yes, Matt. How's it going, mate?
I'm struggling with that one, to be honest, lads.
Yeah, I think we all are, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you dissect that, and how do you put your finger on why this keeps happening over and over again?
It's a combination of Jose Mourinho's lack of trust in our defence and a reluctance to go out and try and kill a game. Like I said this on my channel, like when we go out and play Man City, when we go out and play Arsenal, we go out and play Chelsea, I will 100% to the last minute of the game back that football. We will park the bus and we will get them on the counter attack and we will beat them. We've done it. You can't do that against Newcastle. You can't do that against Palace. You can't do that against Wolves. Like I have full faith in Jose Mourinho. I fully believe he will bring trophies to this club, but he's not perfect. He makes mistakes, and in the last couple of weeks, he's made huge mistakes that could potentially cost us the league title this season. He does not feel, and he's right when he does not feel that defence that we had today is good enough to play a high line or to be exposed against that front three that Wolves had. If at any point in that game, Adama Traore, Pedro Neto, and Daniel Podence were left running in our defence, we would have had no chance in hell. Absolutely none whatsoever. They would have ripped us apart and they would have scored in the counter-attack time and time again. However, in the early stages of that game, when we were out playing attacking football, we had control. We had absolute control. If we had gone and we'd played the way we played for the first 2-3 minutes, if we kept on doing that, we would have got a second goal and we could have got a third goal. Wolves looked weak at the back. We looked positive going forward. We looked like we create chances every time we did. So I can understand why he plays defensive football, because if he played like that for 90 minutes, we would have lost tonight. There's no doubt in my mind we would have lost that game. However, you have to find the balance. Parking the bus the whole way through works against Manchester City. It works against Chelsea because they will start piling men forward and piling more men forward and piling more men forward because they go out to win every single game. However, Wolves aren't going to do that. Palace aren't going to do that. So we need to find that balance where we can catch them on the transition and we can score goals. It's not going to happen. Kane, dreadful the last week or two. Absolutely dreadful, but that's not his fault at all. I put zero of that blame on Harry Kane because he is absolutely exhausted. Not only is he playing 90 minutes every single time we play, but he also has a lot going on in his personal life right now that will be contributing to that. Where, like, if Carlos Vinicius has COVID, fair enough, he can't be anywhere near the team. But even before that, he wasn't getting 15 minutes in this game, 20 minutes at the end of the other game. And if in the first half of games we gone out to kill them off, we would fully be able to rest Harry Kane. We'd fully be able to rest Son, rest Højbjerg. We're not doing enough in the transition at the moment against these weaker teams because they have too many men back because they know what we're going to do and they can't afford to risk going and try to get a goal and leave themselves exposed at the back because they're not good enough to deal with that. We need to find this balance between defensive football and still actually having that threat to score goals. We didn't have a shot on target after the 21st minute today. We're playing Wolves, who were 10th in the Premier League table. We're apparently one of the best teams in England fighting for a Premier League title. That's shocking. That's absolutely not good enough. And before I forget, our midfield today was woeful. Sim, I apologise, but I think Harry Winks, he played better than he has done in recent weeks, but he was not good enough today. He was involved in 8 duels in this game.
I love how everyone has to apologise to me before they start criticising.
You're the ultimate Harry Winks apologist, that's why.
Winks was involved in 8 duels in this game tonight. He lost 6 of them. Højbjerg was involved in 9 duels in this game. He lost 7 of them. Again, on Højbjerg's part, I don't blame him. He's exhausted. He plays every single minute of every single game. Højbjerg and Kane, for me, cannot start against Fulham on Wednesday. They absolutely cannot start, and we should still beat them.
Well, I mean, who starts in the midfield for you then? If either of them can't start, Ndombele.
To be honest, I don't know, but like Mourinho keeps coming out, and the players keep coming out and saying the next game we want to win the next game. We want to win the next game. That's all that we're thinking about. Fair enough. That's fine. That mentality wins teams titles. That's been shown in the past. But there comes a stage where you need to start thinking long term. You can't say, we're only thinking about the next game and we Fulham on a Wednesday when we have Leeds on a Saturday. Because I'd rather have Kane and Højbjerg for the Leeds game than for the Fulham game. And they're just not fit enough. They don't have enough energy right now to play 90 minutes 3 times a week. And we have, look at that squad we had today. We had 11 players out in the pitch, a few shocks in there, but it's a strong squad. We had a strong bench with 9 players. We had no Vinicius, we had no Lucas, no Bale, no Lo Celso. We have a strong squad. We absolutely do. So why can we not rotate? We're rotating in certain parts of the pitch. We're rotating our fullbacks constantly. We're rotating our centre-backs. We're rotating a bit in the midfield on the right side of our front 3. Why not rotate everywhere else? Like, fair enough, these players are our best players, but they're human. They can play 90 minutes 3 times a week. What is a congested season starting in mid-September and still finishing in May, and then all of a sudden some idiot at FIFA thought it was a good idea to have 3 games over an international break. These players can't do that. It's as simple as that. They can't do it. I love Mourinho, absolutely love the man. He will win us trophies, but he's gotten it so wrong the last 2 weeks.
What do you make out of his comments at the end of pretty much every game the last 4 weeks, saying that, oh, he didn't tell the players to do that, and passing off a tiny bit of blame? What do you make out of that?
It's very different to what we're used to. Very, very different. Pochettino, 100% of the time, he took the blame. Whether it was his fault or not, he took the blame. I do feel to some degree Mourinho doesn't deserve the blame, because like tonight it was an individual error that cost us in this game. Against Liverpool, it was an individual error. Against Palace, it was an individual error. Against Newcastle, it was poor VAR decisions. A manager can't control that. He cannot control individual errors. And I was speaking to David and Marcelo on my stream. We were talking about Ben Davies, and he played well. He was probably, up until the last couple of minutes, he was our man of the match. So I don't see why people can criticise Jose Mourinho for starting Ben Davies because he made an error in the last couple of minutes that led to us dropping 2 points. He was one of the best players on the pitch up until then. There's nothing Jose Mourinho can do about a player making an individual error. So in some degree, the blame isn't on him, but it's not his position to pass that blame on. He's the man putting that team out there. He's the man putting out the tactics. You know, if we were in a position where we were 3 or 4-0 up and Ben Davies made an individual error, no one would care. But it was Jose Mourinho's approach that led to us being in that position where that goal conceded actually mattered. If you look at that season we had with Pochettino the last year at White Hart Lane, I think it was 7 games that season we won 4-1. I think all of them are at White Hart Lane. We won 4-1 in those games. We went out in the first half, and more often than not, we were 3 or 4-0 up in that first half. And then maybe Kyle Walker made an error. Maybe Toby Alderweireld made an error. But it mattered for absolutely nothing because we had the game killed off. So
100%.
Individual errors, there's nothing Mourinho can do about it. But what he can do is help and put us in a position where those individual errors do not matter. We're not scoring enough goals right now. We aren't. And that's his fault.
Yeah, and it's even more frustrating that when you look at the team and like the problems are clearly solvable. You can see that in the team that the problems on the pitch can be rectified because from open play we're not conceding. We're literally only conceding late goals from set pieces, and when we do choose to attack, we look creative and we look like we're going to score when we choose to go forward. Happens every time. Against Palace early today. I remember against Newcastle, how many chances we created in that first half. Then we set off in the second half and allowed Newcastle a bit more encouragement. So I don't understand I don't understand why things haven't changed from when things started to go wrong, when they're so easily identifiable problems. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so easily to rectify. And in one sense, that's encouraging because it's not like, when you watch Arsenal play, they've got just like problems leaking throughout the whole team. These are very specific problems that keep happening for Tottenham. Mm-hmm. So why can't we rectify them?
I have absolutely no idea. And I think it could come back to the stance that Jose Mourinho just will not take blame. He has to. He's the man leading this team. If something goes wrong, to some degree, everything is his fault. I watch. There's a Leeds channel that I watch a lot. I think they're really good, and they always talk about how Leeds are so vulnerable at set pieces. They're a mid-table team. They're just promoted, and that should not be a situation that is happening there. How, again, as a title-challenging team with one of the most successful managers in world football, with some of the best players in the Premier League, how can we be in this situation? It's like I really feel as though defending from set pieces is easier than defending
self-proclaimed title challengers anyway.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But like defending from set pieces should be so easy. It's simple. You mark him, you mark him, you mark him. If everyone does their job, Wolves don't score. It's like, look, fair enough. Every now and then you can be done by a set piece tactic. Liverpool had a few of them, and I suppose in the end one of them worked. But it's such a simple thing, and again, it's just individual errors. When we're playing in open play, when we're playing, we have that 4-4-2, whatever it is, we're playing a 5-4-1, whatever it happens to be. If let's just say Doherty is beaten down our right hand side, a ball is crossed into the box, there's people there to map that up. If Dominic was in for a challenge, he misses it, someone gets past him, it's Toby Alderweireld there, they're fixing that. But it's all of a sudden when there's reliance on individual players, they can't do it. And it's as simple as that. It's happening with Leeds. As a unit, they're quite decent. But individually, Liam Cooper can't mark someone, Calvin Phillips can't mark someone, and it's the exact same problem in Spurs. And I've been saying the last couple of weeks, I think a centre attacking midfielder should be our priority in this January window. But now I'm kind of starting to think, we need Skriniar. We need someone who will command that defence. Toby Alderweireld probably should be that guy, Lloris probably should be that guy, but he's not. We need someone to come in and command that defence. And Alex was making a great point earlier on, like we don't know who the set-piece manager is. If there isn't one, why the hell isn't there? That's why we're conceding all our goals. It's where we're being cost points. It's an absolute joke how we can consistently concede from set pieces, and as you say, Sim, it's not been identified and it's not being fixed. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it will. I think we're out of the title race right now. I honestly do, and I know, like, you could probably say I was one of the first to come on here and confidently say we are in a title race. But right now, we're not. Not only are we 6 points behind Liverpool, a team who will not drop points very often this season, but we're dropping points like there's no tomorrow. 2 points in our last 4 games after being top of the table for a month is pathetic. Then there's no other word for it. It is absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on with everything you said, Matt. I can't disagree with anything. And I think everyone in the comments pretty much agrees with you and calling you the GOAT as well. So great call. Shame it's not on better days. But look, thanks for coming on. Everyone go and subscribe. Yeah, go and surprise Matt Hayes and subscribe to him as well while you're there too.
Thanks very much.
So, yeah, great Spurs content. And you might see some familiar faces on it soon as well.
Appreciate it, lads. Talk to you soon.
Nice one, Matt. Good to see you. We got a super chat here from Kev Williams. Says, Sim, Ben, your opinion on Winks, is he good enough? Look, I think he wasn't good enough today. I'm happily admitting that. I think he did some good things. I think he did a lot of bad things as well. There were some things which I've never seen a bloody Premier League footballer do. Sometimes they did today. But I think a lot of his good work, again, even today, gets overlooked because every time he makes a mistake, people pile on him because they think he's not good enough and they ignore a lot of the good stuff he did. And I did think he did a lot of good stuff, but look, we need more from him. We need more from him, especially in these kind of games, and that's no doubt about it. So, is he good enough? He's good enough to play for England, so he's good enough to play for Spurs. But
Tottenham are better than England,
huh?
England are shite anyway. But
no, they're not. Why England shite?
Nah, but the honest thing about Harry Winks for me is I don't think he's good enough or has the tool sets to be starting week in, week out for us, and he's not. In terms of a squad player, yes, maybe he is good enough, but in terms of the way we play under Jose Mourinho, can he do Højbjerg's role? No. Can he do Ndombele's role? No. Can he do Sissoko's role? Maybe on one of his best performances, but not week in, week out. And that's the honest truth of the matter, I think.
Next caller.
Let's get Ariane on. Ariane.
Yes, Ariane, come on.
Okay. I was very angry after the full-time whistle, but I think I've calmed down a little bit. I think I'm actually a little bit more positive than you'd expect. It's still a horrible result, 1-1, when we were 1-0 up in the first minute. A brilliant strike, Ben Davies' assist.
Ben Davies assist at both ends, mate.
We'll talk about that in a bit. But it was definitely a horrible result. I think you got to let's just start with Jose. You've got to put some blame on Jose. I don't think it's specifically his tactics that are wrong. I think it is the fact that we are sitting back that is his fault, but I don't think that's because of his tactics. I'll explain what I mean. Yeah, the post-match interview, you guys mentioned this about 4 or 5 times already today. He says that that's not what he wants the team to do. He wants them to attack. He does not want them to sit back. Now, you can question the Ndombele substitution and saying, okay, if you don't want us to sit back, why are you subbing off our best player that's going forward? You could say it was he was tired because Ndombele has had a tendency recently, or not recently, just throughout his entire Spurs career, to be a little bit unfit and can't play the full 90 minutes with the intensity that he likes to play. So, fair enough. I think the problem is the players he's picking week in, week out. That includes the likes of Harry Kane, that includes the likes of Heung-min Son. These players are not performing. You want to talk about the Davies goal, very fair enough. Davies should not have lost his man. That was really poor from him. But you have to look on the night. Davies was really good today. He was really holding Adama Traore. He couldn't really do anything. And Harry Kane was right there at the near post. He could have cleared that away. Is it Harry Kane's job to fix Ben Davies' mistake for him? No, but as a unit, that's what you're supposed to do. Harry Kane was in the near post. He could have headed it. He didn't. Some blame goes to Ben Davies. Some blame goes to Harry Kane. You can't blame Ben Davies because he was brilliant on the night. Marcel said he was gonna. I don't think he's still my man in the match. I would have given it to Ndombele regardless. But I think he was brilliant. And an individual mistake that shouldn't be happening to a footballer that's playing in the Premier League for Tottenham Hotspur. It's not something you want to see. But it's going to happen regardless, like you said. So you've got to, as a defensive unit, that includes everybody that's in the box trying to defend that corner, you've got to take some responsibility. Maybe now Harry Kane should clear that away. That's not entirely his fault that we conceded, but you can't say that you put all the blame on one player, you put all the blame on Jose, you put all the blame on this. It's as a unit. Like, it's a mixture of everything that's going wrong at the club right now. Jose Mourinho is picking players that really aren't performing. Some of the players are just also not really caring. They're not giving full effort. They're not defending from set pieces. And while we're on the topic of set pieces, I don't think our defending from them specifically is the main problem. I think it's the fact that we're conceding so many. From open play, we've got this least amount of goals conceded this season with 3. Just pull it up here. We've had 3 open goals goals from open play conceded, 0 from the counterattack. Both those are the lowest in the Premier League. Set pieces, we've conceded the joint 3rd highest with 6. And if you look, I think it's more because of how many we're conceding. We gave away 20 fouls to Wolves this game. That's 20 set pieces, and they're going to score one of them. That's just how football works. That's why we can't sit on a 1-0 lead. We've also conceded penalties and own goals, but those weren't really the main problem on the night. It's more you have to look at everything going on, and you can look at this set piece defending, but I think it's mainly the fact that we're just inviting so much pressure, and we're not giving much on the other way after we score the first goal. For 80 minutes, we're on the back foot, and they're going to score 1 out of 20 set pieces. That's just going to happen. You can't expect a team like Wolves with brilliant players like Neto, Podence, João Moutinho. These are brilliant set piece takers, and you cannot expect not 1 out of 20 to go in. You have to be going to score more. You have to. And you cannot do it when you're playing players that are exhausted, like Harry Kane, like Højbjerg, like Son, and not play the players you bought. Like maybe Vinicius had the COVID situation today, but Lamela is fresh. Yes, he came back from injury, but he looked lively today.
But if we sorry, one second. If we dropped Kane and Son today and we didn't pick up the win, you don't think Mourinho's getting absolutely slaughtered for that?
I'm not saying drop Kane and Son, but I think not both of them at least. I think you should at least drop one of them. Maybe not against Wolves, but I think against Fulham, one of them have to be dropped because they're not performing.
Also, Ariane, I get what you're saying about, we gave them a lot of free kicks today in dangerous positions, and I'd accept that, and I'd agree with you if this was the only situation this has happened. But this keeps happening time and time again. We keep conceding set pieces last minute as well and dropping points because of it.
Always late set pieces.
So, I mean, you can say in this situation we gave them a lot of set pieces and what have you, but it's a common theme that keeps happening throughout this season.
Look, I think you're right. I think definitely defending some set pieces has to be looked at, and I don't think that it's perfect. That's obviously if it was perfect, we wouldn't have conceded. But I still think you have to look at the numbers, and that's part of it. But you also do make a good point. Yeah, you should be just defending set pieces anyway. It wasn't, it wasn't like an acrobatic kick you can't do anything about. It was just a flicked on header. You can easily get on that. Davies lost his man. Kane couldn't clear it. That's 2 players that could have done something about it that they didn't. So, I mean, you've definitely got a fair point. I don't really know what to say about it because I'm not Jose Mourinho. I think Jose Mourinho should just be. I think the best way to remedy that is with something you've been saying already. If that happens when we're 3-0 up, no one cares. Doherty gave away a pen in the 89th minute against Ings because it hit his hand, and it ended 5-2. Okay. Like, it's an individual error if you want to say it wasn't really that, whatever that is, but it was a penalty that he gave away, but it wouldn't have mattered because we're 5-1 ahead. If we were 3-0 ahead and we had, let's say, even one individual mistake there and Fabio Silva scores his chance against Lloris at the very end, that's 3-2 still. Let's say there's just so many things that go into it that they could have scored from, they didn't. If we keep attacking more and we outscore them, because that's what the game of football is eventually. At the end of the day, it's who scores the most goals. If we're not scoring goals and we're sitting back on a 1-0 lead, we can't be surprised when they make a late attempt after they're attacking for 85 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. But if you're Jose Mourinho, Ariane, and you're looking at the current situation, are you encouraged that at least the problems at the moment are kind of born down to like late goals from set pieces, and that can be rectified? Or are you worried that these things keep happening time and time again and they're not being addressed?
The thing is, as a unit, we're obviously playing really well as a team, and I think that's pretty encouraging. Like I said, from open play, we only conceded 3 goals, them being Ings, Lamptey, and another one that I can't remember at the moment. They can easily be set piece defending can be rectified.
Deflected goal.
Salah, the deflected goal. Yeah, thank you. The set piece mistakes can be rectified if we get defenders. Milenkovic, defender that we've been linked with. I think he has like an 87% aerial duel win rate, and that's ridiculous.
That's the joke.
It's insane. And he plays in Serie A. It's not like it's some weak league. Like you're not talking about a Ligue 1 or Bundesliga where maybe you could say, okay, it's a bit of a not physical league. No, this guy's doing it in Serie A with players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic playing week in, week out. So
he's also playing in a very poor Fiorentina side this season as well.
Yeah. So having an 87% aerial duel win rate is ridiculous. If we can get a player like that who can also command the back line to organize the defenders, I think we could just be so much more solid and get a lot more points. And I think you make an interesting point when you say we need a Skriniar, or not you, I think it was Matt Hayes said maybe Skriniar should be organizing defense, or if it's not Skriniar, it should be at least Lloris or Toby, and neither of them do that. And I think I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, the biggest leader we have in defense, regardless of whether or not he's playing, is probably Joe Hart. And if you think about that, how many set-piece goals has Joe Hart conceded this season? Was there one against Lask? I don't think
Joe Hart has a completely different set of problems that we need to worry about.
Yes. I'm just talking about his leadership in the set piece. When you have someone that can organize the defenders, and Joe Hart's got a lot of experience, and you can hear him shouting across the entire pitch. Yeah. When you've got somebody, a leader like that, now you see you've got a lot more solidity on set pieces. Now you can argue about the quality of the teams all you want, but we're dishing out a worse team every time as well. So maybe it is a lack of leadership as well. You've got to look, there's so many small problems that I think if we don't rectify them, we can't really have that much over the title race. And I still don't think we're actually out of the title race, but we need to rectify the problems while we're still in it. 6 points away is not a massive problem. January window is coming up in about 4 days. So we've still got plenty of time to try to rectify these problems. Next game is Fulham. It's obviously not an easy game. No game in the Premier League is, but you've still got to look forward. You want to try to be positive. It's not the end of the world. We've seen Liverpool drop points against Fulham, West Brom, Aston Villa. They're not. They've got a similar problem to us. Maybe not set pieces, but their consistency against smaller teams seems to be a little bit on and off. So you can't come here and say, "Oh, it's hopeless. We've drawn against this. We've got 1 win in 5, whatever it is." There is definitely light at the end of the tunnel. There is definitely time to come back from this. I 100% back Jose Mourinho, even if we don't get that trophy, even if we just scrape top 4, even if we like Marcelo said, I want to give him 2 full seasons. There is no manager I will trust more with a team to get trophies than Jose Mourinho. Not a single one in the world. You can give me anyone, I will always choose Jose Mourinho. I don't care if he says a dinosaur. I don't care if he says a this, if he's a that. So I still fully trust him. I still fully believe that he wants to fix the problem of our goal scoring. I mean, I think Davinson Sanchez playing today was actually part of that. If you look at it in the West Ham game where we were attacking, it was the last time Davinson Sanchez had an appearance in the Premier League. Those were the games where we were attacking a lot. 5-2 against Southampton, 6-1 against Man United, and 3-3 against West Ham. And we know Jose Mourinho likes a pacey center back in his attacking teams that, push forward a lot. So I think Davinson Sanchez being included was a sign that he definitely recognized the problem of our goal scoring and he wants to remedy it. So I still have full faith in him. I still have full faith we can turn this form around. And we've got a decent run of fixtures. Leeds, Fulham, these are teams that do not have the best defensive record. And we've got goal scoring threat, even though I did just criticize them saying they're not playing. But we definitely do have goal scoring threat in Harry Kane, Heung-min Son. There's no reason that we can not win both those games and bounce back. And now suddenly the mood at White Hart Lane's like, oh, we can still win the league and everything. So I don't want to come in here being super ultra negative, saying, oh, it's over. I still think there's a lot of chances in this. Yes, it was a really poor result today. It wasn't the best performance, but that's football for you. It happens.
All right, Ariane. Thanks for coming on, man. Great to have a bit of positivity as well. So thank you.
Appreciate the call, man.
Cheers,
all right, thank you guys.
Cheers.
All right, let's go to Joe Lee.
Joe Lee.
Yes.
Joe, how's it going, mate?
I'm good. Mate? I wish we were joining in better circumstances. I'm with my dad, but
hi guys.
It could be better circumstances.
So run me through your thoughts on the game today. What were you thinking?
Do you want to go first?
There you go.
It's the same old, really, isn't it? Control without possession is what we saw the whole match. And then late on, someone scores from it. The Palace game is when it really started to show. But I thought that was just a blip. And I was thinking if we can get a result against Liverpool, then the league could still be ours. You never know. But from the last 2 games, I think they're the ones that we need to think about. I don't think we'll win the league anymore. But yeah, today it was frustrating. You said at half time, the fact that we defend the second we score is so negative. He almost wanted Wolves to score so that we'd actually start attacking again, didn't you?
Yeah, in a strange way. Before half time, it was 1-0. We had about 5 minutes to go before half time. I thought, normally I'd say, let's keep on till half time. But part of me was thinking, if it's 1-0 half time, second half's going to start. We're going to keep it 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. And then we're going to go into the last quarter of the game, 1-0, where anything can happen, a mistake can happen, and that's it. It's all gone. And that's it. I read it beforehand. And I said, so if they'd have scored, if they'd have scored 1-0 half time, we'd have come out the second half with a bit more of a positive mindset. Now, I never think like that, but I just know what Mourinho's thinking. It's a real strange way to go about it, but that's what would have happened. We'd have had 45 minutes to come back in. We wouldn't have sat back. And what we did is we encouraged them to come on. Now, Ben Davies actually, as you guys said, had a good game. I actually thought he had a really good game. But with Mourinho's tactics, he's asking the defenders to defend again and again and again and again. And chances of making a mistake is high risk football.
Becomes higher and higher.
Higher and higher. If you defend 10 corners, one might go through, you're letting a goal. If you just only defend 3 or 4, you've got more chance of keeping them out. But Mourinho's tactics mean that you're kind of going back and back and back. So one mistake, and that's it. And that's, I said to Joseph with 5 minutes ago, I can see them scoring, and I couldn't see us getting back into it. And lo and behold, it happened. Because you can go into 92nd, 93rd minute, 1-0 up, and still lose the game. And that's where we were going. It was such a carbon copy of the Crystal Palace game. And it's all right to make mistakes, but you've got to learn from those mistakes. And that's what I think. That's where we're all frustrated, because we didn't kind of learn from the Palace game. In saying that, I back Mourinho 1,000%. He's the best manager we've ever had. No question about that. His record is amazing. He needs more. People are saying 2 years. No. He needs 3, maybe 4 years. This man knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. And I think that you've got to give the man time. It's not the best football to watch, because a lot of the football is tedious and it's hard to watch. But let's face it, those games were like when we were winning 1-0. The games were boring. I remember falling asleep against Burnley. I woke up right. But I'll tell you what I did enjoy. The next week, looking at the league table when we were top, I couldn't take my eyes off it. So it's 90 minutes of maybe boring football, but we all enjoyed looking at the league table for the last month, didn't we? So it's kind of a different way of dealing with things, but we've got to back Mourinho all the way. His football is different to what we've all been watching all our lives. I've never seen football like this. I've been going Spurs since the early 80s. I've never seen Spurs play this way at all, right? But, I can't remember a time when we were top of the league for a month. I know it was early and everyone got a bit carried away, but I haven't seen it. So we've got to back this man. He's got us in the semi-finals of the Carling Cup, or whatever it's called now. We've got the FA Cup coming up. The UEFA Cup's all bubbling under. Maybe the squad isn't as good as we think, but I still think that we've got to back this man. If he goes, who comes in after him? Who's got a better record than Mourinho out there at the moment?
No. I think he's got the best. He's got the best record in football at the moment.
Exactly. I think people could argue, but I think arguably he's better than Ferguson. Mourinho went from country to country to country, different managers, different boards, different chairmen, this, that, and the other, and won wherever he went. Where Fergie stayed in one club, run it from top to bottom, 26 years. Yeah. That's fine. Mourinho hasn't. He's dealt with different challenges, different languages, different cultures, different this, that, and the other. So for me, he's the best manager out there, and we've just got to back him. And when you do slip up on this one occasion, yeah, it's really frustrating. We're all a bit annoyed, but you've just got to say the bigger picture is he's here to stay. He's got to do it his way, and we've just got to get behind him. That's my take on it.
You say that he needs 3 or 4 years, but history tells us that Jose doesn't stick around anywhere for too long. So okay. if it's not going that well, do you think he really will stick around?
Right. Okay. My take on that is that he's always lived in Chelsea. He's got a massive house in Chelsea, right? When he was up in Manchester, I don't think he ever settled there because he was in a hotel. Yeah. He's in London, right? So the training ground for him is maybe 45 minutes away or whatever. That's a massive thing. His house is in London. He's been in London for maybe 20 odd years, I think. Even when he was abroad, his family base was still in London. So I think that, and if he leaves Spurs, he would have to, I don't know what other Premiership teams could afford him, or he would feel the project's good enough. I think Spurs fits with him just perfectly. So unless he falls out with Levy or something comes up, if it's just on a football base, I think that I think he'll stay. I really do. I hope he stays, because I think that if he goes, I don't know who's out there, unless there's an up-and-coming manager we don't know about. Mourinho, for me, is the man we have to back. It's 13 years since we won a trophy. you know, I went to the FA Cup final in '91. Right, I was a 20-year-old man then. Right? Now look at me, look how great I've gone. Right, I've got another 30 years for an FA Cup. It's ridiculous. We have to get behind this man because we've got nowhere else to go, and that's why Levy's sacked Poch and got Mourinho in, because he's saying we can't go down this road anymore of disrespecting the League Cup and the FA Cup, because we did under Poch, whatever you say, we did. Yeah. Now we're not. He's saying, right, I'm going to put out my best team against these teams, and chances are, touch wood, we'll get to the final, and we've beaten City and Man United this year as well. So that's a real trophy there, and I don't care. It's only the League Cup. It's not. We're
above a Carabao Cup now and an FA Cup. I was speaking to you the other day, Ben. Realistically, the position we are right now with the stadium, with the players, the thing that would satisfy us the most is a Premier League and a Champions League. And although it's been so long without a trophy at all, a Carabao Cup would come and go within a year, and we'd won a Premier League or a Champions League. So while we've got Jose, because whatever you say, we might have him for a long time. While we've got him, we've got to go for the biggest trophies. And for me, we just need to get
at the end of the day, the way we're playing at the moment, fine. We were top of the league for a month, but it's recurring themes that keeps coming up in games. Why we lose them? We defend well for 80, 85 minutes. And then a set piece comes and we throw away the game. Why are we not going for that second goal? Why are we not trying to kill off the game? I don't get it. That's got to be and the reason for that is that Jose Mourinho comes out and says that it's not his fault. That's not him. That's not his plans. I don't get that. And it doesn't sit right with me that he's saying that, because we all know what Jose Mourinho likes to do in football games. But going out there and scoring one goal and sitting back, that's not the way to play football. And that's not his way to play football. I just don't get it, to be honest. Can you shed any light on it?
We know Mourinho is economical with the truth. He will say whatever he likes to the press. Behind closed doors, he's saying another thing. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't believe him saying that. I know what his tactics were. That's why I saw it all coming. And it did turn out the way we all anticipated it did. If he wants the team to push up forward, he can make them push up forward. Kane and Son were pretty isolated today. Son had a poor game,
They were instructed to stay.
Yeah, I agree. Kane's touches in the opposition box, I don't know what they are, but I can't imagine there were that many, to be honest. Son, again. So if he wanted the team to push forward, he's the man in charge. He could get them to push forward, but I don't believe that for one moment. We all knew what was going to happen when they scored early.
But how many times can this keep happening? How many times can Jose Mourinho blame the players without the players turning on him?
Yeah, you've got a good point there. I think we've still got a harmony in the squad right now, but
I don't think the players will turn on him, because he is a winner, and you've got to trust in his process. I agree. There may come a breaking point at some place where the players saying, "Well, we keep losing and we're doing these tactics." I get what you're saying there, but I think at the moment he has got them on board, because we've. At the beginning of the season, if you'd have said we're going to be top for that period of time, and
to be fair, Arian was right. We're 6 points behind the top, and personally, I don't think we can win the league anymore. But we're not out of it yet, and we've had a tough run of fixtures. I'm trying to make excuses for us now. It's not good enough, but
hang on. Did anyone here truthfully believe? I got a bit carried away. But did anyone truthfully believe that we were going to win the league? I thought
I did.
Okay, when teams have won the league, this is my take in it. You look at Leicester, Liverpool, City, Chelsea. When they've won the league, they've kind of gone ahead and they've strangled the league from that point on. They've won back to back to back to back.
We've never been in that position.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, if we were top of the league in, say, February, and we were winning back to back to back to back, but we were never really that convincing for me. And that's where, don't get me wrong, I got carried away with it all, but actually to win the league, it's a hard thing to do. We were top, right? But we only played 10 games. So there was, 28 games to go. And that's about 80, 90 points still to play for. Yeah. Realistically, it's a long season. We've only just gone through Christmas. We've still got Easter to go through, the running, the UEFA Cup. Yeah, there's a lot of football still to be played. So, we all got a bit carried away. But realistically, to win the league, you've got to strangle it, get ahead and win every game relentlessly. Don't care how you win it, but again, the next game comes up, win it away to City, win it away to Liverpool, win it away to this team, win it, and that's what. I remember when Leicester did that. They didn't give us, even though we were chasing them.
weren't
They
top.
didn't really give us.
We
We
were
didn't get
never
that
top.
close to them. We were never top. They kind of strangled it, and it was really disappointing that they won every single game. And that's what Spurs have to do to realistically win the league. Mourinho's capable of doing that, but maybe with the squad and the time he's had available at the moment, that's why I'm thinking he needs a lot more time to get his ideas across. It's been a strange season for everyone, but maybe he needs time to get his ideas across. We've got to back
I
them
don't
up.
know.
All right. Well, that's a great call.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Joe, for coming
You're
on.
welcome.
And what's your
Cheers,
dad's
mate.
name?
Mish.
Mish, yeah.
Mish.
Yeah,
So
bring him
thank
on
you for
more
coming.
often.
You should definitely come on again. And Joe, hopefully we'll see you down in London pretty soon.
Hopefully, man. Come on, you Spurs.
Come
Take
on,
care,
Spurs.
guys.
Respect.
Nice one. Nice
That
to
was a
meet
good
you,
call,
Dad.
Joe. Joe
good.
and Mish, his dad. Very good call, I believe. But let's get on the last 3 calls of the day. Let's start with Mike Kelly.
Hey, Mike.
You're on mute.
No, he's not. I can hear him.
What about now? You hear me?
I can hear him. I can hear him.
now. Yeah.
Okay. What's up, guys? You're just used to my audio problems, Ben. You're just used to my audio problems. now.
It's just clockwork now. I
Yeah,
see
you're
Mike,
just
you see
used to
mute.
Mike, you next.
Boring performance. Mike's on mute. Talk about it after. There we go.
So, Mike, how do you dissect that for us?
I mean, you know what, guys? Like I think a lot of people said, I think today is the day for me where I'm just focusing on top 4 and a trophy, like we were to start the season. You know, it hurts to say we're not in a title race. That's personally where I'm at. But there's too many. It's more than just form when the results start to creep up. Even our wins this season, if you watch them, we're not peppering teams. We're not putting the keeper at bay often. You know, we're being clinical in the moments. And when you have players like Kane and Son, why are we not trying to get them 5 to 7 chances a game? Why are we limiting it to 1 and 2? Those are our best players on our team, no matter what. I don't care, how sound we are defensively. Those are the 2 players that are bread and butter at Tottenham. And we're playing to our defense's strength, and rather than just going out and trying to score goals with Kane and Son, which just doesn't sit right with me, honestly.
Can you understand the approach? If, like, for example, when we have games against City, we have games against Arsenal, whatnot. Everyone's praising us. Everyone's saying what great performance it was from Spurs, tactical masterclass by Mourinho. But isn't the only real difference in those performances and the performances we're seeing now is that we got the second goal in those games?
Absolutely.
And then you can play in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. But you need to you need to get that second goal. You can't. That's the difference. You know what I mean? You need to get it. We can say we're comfortable sitting back. We're comfortable sitting back. We're not. We're playing into the other team's chances. They want to apply pressure when we're down. We can't even find a release ball. Honestly, it's very hard for us to retain the ball when these teams are pressuring us when we go ahead. This is a recurring theme. Ben, you've said it many times. I'm not surprised anymore. So my expectations have lowered a little bit, but that may be a good thing. Maybe we need to refocus this team and focus on what we can do, which is I do think we can defend. And it is a lot of individual errors, which is frustrating. But
Set pieces.
yeah, all on set pieces. But now, like we said, how many times can we be like, oh, we were safe today. We were comfortable. It's not comfortable when you keep dropping points. So, we got to figure it out. There can't be. And the frustrating thing, like I think Ben is saying, is Jose is making it difficult for us to comprehend why this is happening. I have no idea. Is it the players? Is it something you're seeing tactically? It's all very, smoke and mirrors with what he's saying and what we're seeing. He's saying he wants to see goals. It's very hard to justify that's what he's emphasizing week to week. If you watch us play, you're seeing that he's emphasizing getting the first goal and then saying, okay, be comfortable. Go be comfortable defending, which clearly we've proven many times now. It's hard for us we're not a prime defensive team. We can do a job in a game, in a big game like we've seen, but we're not going to keep clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet, especially when you're conceding on set pieces. So I would just like to see, like my point before, where our best players are attacking players, Kane and Son. I don't see a reason to cater to our weaknesses when we have 2 world-class players, which we would all say are world-class players up top.
Yeah. And when you look at the game today, we go 1-0 up in the first minute. We could have easily pushed on and got another goal. We had Wolves on the racks for a little bit, at least for the first 10 minutes. We could have easily gone on and pushed on, got that second and even a third goal by any luck. And then you go and sit back, and then you sit on your laurels and rest on the lead.
And how can you justify taking off Tanguy today? How?
The
I
only
don't
justification is tiredness. That's the only justification, and he didn't
He
look
had to
tired
have
one
asked to
bit.
come off. He had to have asked. That's it. Because the way he was playing, how could he have even asked to come off? He looked like the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe he's looking up and saying, "Get me off." The guy was creating every time he got the ball. So I would like to hear the justification on that. I didn't hear it. I don't know if anyone asked. I'm sure someone did, but for me that was mind blowing because he was clearly our only player on the pitch with a little bit of invention, a little bit of drive going forward, and you can't take him off down up one goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do take him off, I think then you put someone like Lamella on or something in his position. You don't completely take away our attacking threat. Well, one thing I would say is he went off. Well, just as he went off, Wolves started to open up a bit of space in the centre of the pitch, and that's something he identified. And then all of a sudden he took off Ndombele. But I thought he was going to take off Winks, to be honest, and brought on Sissoko, but he didn't. He took off Ndombele, and all of a sudden we had nothing on the counter, which was a bit frustrating. But are you confident we can rectify these things going forward in the season, or do you think that if we haven't done it by now, then it's just going to be a constant issue?
No, yeah, I don't think. I don't see any reason to believe we're just going to start scoring bags of goals. What I do think we can do is, defend that much better. But that's what I'm saying. Those games against City, against Chelsea, even Arsenal, we defended perfect. That you're expecting to defend perfectly for 90 minutes against top teams. To me, that's unrealistic. That's like you're playing a simulated game, and expecting that, you can just sit on the game and win it out. No, that's not going to happen.
It's
so I don't
week in,
see
week
any
out,
reason,
Mike.
but
It's not just against the top teams.
yeah, exactly. You're right. So I don't see any, we watch every game. We don't see consistent chances being created. We see clinical play by top players on our team. Let's call it what it is. We see sound defending when we win and clinicalness from Kane and Son. And if we don't get those 2 or 3 excellent chances for Kane and Son, it's very difficult for us to score at this time.
All it takes is one mistake, one wrong VAR call, and that's it. We've dropped 2 points. We've dropped 3 points. That's all it takes every week for us at the moment.
And Jose needs to fix it now. There's enough excuses. Like, it's cute when we say we play against Liverpool, which I thought we played I defended that performance. I thought that was a sound performance from us against a top side. Thought we had great chances, and we defended pretty well for most of the game. But then you turn around, you need to be able to flip that switch and rectify that performance and say, all right, we dominated the game. We created all these chances. Kane had 6 shots on target. We're not saying that. We're saying, we had a split chance, nicked a goal, and then tried to sit on it every week. And to expect anything differently at this point, I don't think is realistic. I think we need to lower expectations just a bit. Let's win multiple trophies. Let's be a good cup side. Let's compete in the FA Cup. Let's go after the Europa League. And top 4 is obviously a must still. But top of the league, I think we got ahead of ourselves just a bit. And that's it. Coming into the season, we would have signed up for a trophy in top 4, and I still think that's on. So there's no reason to get that down today.
Yeah, I just think it's that when we've been top of the league and we all just got so carried away, it's just a bit downhearted.
I think it's partially we look around the league and think, why not? Why not us? Just go on a run. Nobody's playing well, right? And we were playing well at the time, but we weren't running away with it. Nobody thought we would run away with it. And nothing really changes. Let's just worry about our form right now, which definitely needs to improve. And we go on.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Mike.
Thanks, guys. Come on,
Speak
you Spurs.
to you soon. Come on, you Spurs. And yeah, let's finish off with Josh.
Come on, you Spurs. Let's have a little bit of positivity in the room, guys. Let's finish off on a high. Look, the way I see it is normally Lo Celso would have come on for Ndombele. That's been the normal routine. That's been serviced, right?
Correct, yeah.
So today he didn't do that for obvious reasons because he's not on the bench. He's injured. And he didn't turn to Ali, right? And
the relationship between Ali and Mourinho, God knows what that is at the moment. Does he like him? Is he being a hard dad on him? Does he just genuinely not like the way he plays football? We don't know the real answer behind the scenes. But today would have been an Ali-esque moment to come in, little turn, a little bit of magic, a little through ball, a little glancing header. I was praying because I knew the Ndombele was going to come off. We all knew it was going to happen around 70th minute. Just praying, Daddy, come on. Daddy's got his pajamas on. He's got his blanket on. He's got his Santa hat on. There was no way it was coming on. And he brings on Sissoko. Now, who else was on the bench to bring on? He's probably looked at his bench and gone, right, I don't like you, Ali. You're up in the stands. You're not coming in. Who else? And remind me, guys, because I might have gone blank here.
Lamella, Bergwijn.
Lamella he'd brought on. Bergwijn was on. No, who did he bring?
Lamella wasn't on at that stage. You could have brought him on for Ndombele.
He brought on Sissoko. We were under siege then. So I think Mourinho thought, see out these next 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll bring on a little bit of this and that, and we'll see the game through. So, in fairness, if Lo Celso was there, he probably would have come on, in my opinion, and that would have allowed us to pick better holes in Wolves' defence. And I do feel, guys, that we are probably being a bit out of order on Wolves. They're a good team, right? Away to Wolves is an intense, high-paced match. They are not Fulham. So everyone comparing next week to today, that's wrong. Leicester and Wolves, Leicester probably edge it, but not a massive gap. Crystal Palace, another away ground. The Premier League's difficult. There are fewer teams now that you can say on paper we've won this. Even when we play Leeds, Leeds are a good team. You know, they're going to bring it. You know, let's not pretend it's going to be, on paper before the season. You're looking at Leeds going, yeah, 3 points. The season is so unpredictable. And who's really running away with it? Even if you look at sort of like United, Bruno Fernandes is carrying United. We're just lacking a bit of magic in the middle of the park. The Celso wasn't there today. He should have brought on Ali, in my opinion. He didn't. So it's fine lines, man. I think we're all being a little bit too depressed and a little bit too down. And I understand that Wolves came on and they pressured us and we tried to ride it out. We tried to ride out the storm. And in football, you're going to have patches of play where you ride out the other team's storm and you wait for your moment. It didn't work out today because of a marginal error of defending. Otherwise, we'd done it. We were 2 minutes or whatever it was from getting the 3 points. And it would have been much, much more positivity today. But fine lines, right? Now, if you look at the next game, Fulham, that will tell us more about Mourinho's tactics because now we're playing probably one of the weakest teams, if not the weakest team we're going to play this whole Premier League season, which is Fulham. Next week, well, not next week, in a few days, we'll find out if Mourinho is a bit doolally with his tactics or if we were being a bit harsh on the team considering it was Wolves away, Leicester, who are no mugs, right? So I think we all need to get into perspective that the Premier League is not as bad as we think it is. And it is tough. It is really tough. It's an unpredictable season. Nobody's running away with it, guys. Not even the amazing Salah and Mane show and Firmino. They're not doing it. So relying on Kane and Son, which is what we've done up to this point. If you look at today's on-shot target,
Here, sorry, Josh, you just came off the camera for a second.
Sorry, yeah, your camera's cut out.
I'm not sure what's happened. Can you see him? Oh,
Hey,
you're back there. You're back there. You're back.
I can see you guys.
Yeah.
So, guys, one of the points I want to make is, as well as saying, let's not be too harsh on the opposition. The opposition is pretty solid. We're don't get me wrong, we should beat Wolves, but they're no mugs, right? Mm-hmm. Next week will tell us a lot. Fulham is a different proposition. That will tell us a lot about Mourinho and his tactics. Now, the other thing I've got a problem with, I feel like Kane sitting a bit deep. I think we need to switch that up. I think Kane needs to be pushed forward, and I think we need to give him a bit of a license up front. I just feel at the moment that he's picking up the ball and teams are doubling up on him. So I think that would be an area for if Mourinho's sort of looking to switch it up with the same players, stick Kane up because he can hold the ball off. He can header it on. And we're missing that from Kane's game. When was the last time he was doing that sort of bullying role that he's really good at up front? At the moment, he seems to pick it up in midfield and gets the odd little part here or there. Are we using Kane to his maximum potential at the moment? Yes, it worked against the bigger teams because Son was finishing and it was all connecting and all the dots were working out. But at the moment, should we be sticking Kane back up front for the flick-ons and the head-ons? And I think that will be a good way to rearrange the tactics whilst keeping the same personnel, which Mourinho really likes.
When you look at you said we got to look at the bigger picture, and in the bigger picture, there's all the games we've dropped this season, we've dropped points, have pretty much all been from set pieces. That is the bigger picture, right? But when and obviously we've been sitting back and whatnot, not creating chances. But when we do drop points, it's all because of set pieces, late in games as well. Usually in the last 10 minutes. So when you look at our team and you look at other teams in the league, all the top 5 or 6 or 7, it's very, very tight. Do you see more problems for us or more problems for other teams? Or
I'm sure.
Do you think our problems are more easily rectifiable than other teams' problems?
Ledley's a defensive man, right? He's watching that, pulling out every bit of hair on his head. Let's remember, like, we've got a defensive coach who's Tottenham through and through. Right, so if anyone's hurting, me, you, or any other fan right now watching this, Ledley's at home pulling his hair out because he knows, right, and he's Mr. Spurs. So there's no one behind the scenes who's not recognised his defensive frailties, and I'm sure that Ledley's going home tonight as a defensive coach in his car, thinking, or on the coach, or when he finally gets into bed, he's probably thinking, what do I need to do to stop these set pieces? Because he's a header he knows how to head the ball. He's one of the best we've had. So there's no doubt about it that Ledley will be looking at it. This will be on his list. Someone mentioned before who's a set piece person. It's got to be Ledley because he's a defensive coach from a defensive point of view, not from an attacking. So this is down to Ledley King and how much power he has in the dressing room on influence on tactics and formation and how the team should be playing. So We'll find out. Ledley's quite a novice in this area, guys. Don't forget, you might have played the game, but managing players and getting people to listen to you and follow you might be a different thing. Maybe he's too nice. Maybe they're not listening to Ledley. Maybe Mourinho's left it to him. Maybe someone's not picking up. But in my opinion, this is Ledley's bag, right? Because this is what he's been brought in for, is to tighten up the defence. It was working great. We had the best clean sheet record. We had the fewest goals conceded, and now we're sort of melting away. They are marginal, consistent issues that we're having with set pieces. No doubt there's a pattern. We have very smart people there at Spurs, and every football club have people in the back end to do all the mechanics and stats and analysis. So there's no doubt they're looking at it. You then have to look at the players, and the players in the moment is a lap of concentration for half a second. It's a lap of positional difference. Very fine margins that can be fixed and that can be broken game in, game out. And we've seen that with West Brom today as well. So I think everyone just have a bit of patience. Everyone just remember that this season is like no other season before. It's completely random. And we are still work in progress. Mourinho's only just started his first season. Yes, the tactics are difficult to watch, but when it was working and it was clinical, we were all happy. We could go on a run from Fulham and win 3 games in a row and be clinical, get 4 attempts on target and score 2 and go on a run, and we're happy again. So let's remember, we can't have it all. You want to play open possession football, we are going to leave ourselves a little bit open. We want to be tight at the back, which we were earlier in the season, and get the counter. Then we have to take both things on the chin. So I think the jury is still very much so out. There's a lot of people slagging off Mourinho today. Look, decision-making wise, the only thing I've got on Mourinho today is, why did you bring on Dele Alli? But there's something more behind the scenes. Is he a sold man? Is Dele Alli a sold man? As Levy and Mourinho had a chit-chat and said, 50 million we've got offered already. I'll give you 50 million. That's yours to spend in January. And he might have 50 million that Mourinho wants to bring in a player for 50 million quid that he's got his eyes on. And Ali's the money, because you know how Levy works. You've got to sell someone to buy someone. Generally, that's the way Levy's work. So I think, there's a lot of negativity on the call. People saying we defended from the second minute. No, we didn't. We played some great football. There was moments of passing and moving today that was very much like how we're used to seeing Tottenham play over the years. We were making moves. Listen, Reguilon squares that ball to Son. That's 2-0. Happy days. Margins, real fine margins. And yes, we caved in, but we have a right to protect the lead. if we had caved in and it was 0-0, it would be a different call for me right now if it was 0-0 and we caved in. We didn't even cave in, but we decided to sit back. But we were 1-0 up, and it nearly worked until the last few minutes. So maybe everyone's just being a bit too harsh. And like I say, Reguilon squares that ball is 2-0. There was a few moments here or there. It's just not going for us. You know what? The luck's run out as well a bit. I mean, everything Son was banging in was going in. Everything Kane was hitting was going in. We've run out of luck. And, you know, I just feel like everyone's kind of writing off Mourinho. I think it's way too early to be writing off Mourinho at this stage.
I don't think any. Well, there have been a few reactionary comments on social media and whatever, but that's kind of expected anyway, isn't it? That's just the place what Twitter is. So I mean, you're always going to see those comments on Twitter, but. At the end of the day, yeah, you're right. If Son squares that ball, we go 2-0 up and happy days, we see out the lead. But it's a common theme, and these things keep happening, and we keep conceding by set pieces and late goals, and it's hurting us every time we do concede these goals.
It is, but I think you'll find most teams in the Premier League right now are not anywhere near where they should be. I mean, if you look at the Arsenal result, you look at United's, you look at Liverpool's results going downhill, and you look at injuries in different teams. There's
Arsenal
a lot
where they're meant to be. Trust me, Arsenal where they're meant to be.
Yeah, come on, you know. I mean, that was a freak result, and Chelsea might as well not turned up. We could have just sent the bus on its own, you know, and had a better chance. But I mean, it is just a freak season. You know, these players were at home for 3 months, not really training this year. A lot is going on, but I want to bring it back to look, if we get negative, it affects the club. There could be players that even watch this channel, right? Let's not try and be like other channels and put negativity in and around the club, because we are the fans, and actually don't actually realize the power we have and the voice of social media. And we need to be careful not to put a negative spiral around our club, guys. Yeah. So everyone who comes on needs to have a balanced argument. And I've got no problem with having a rant. I had a big rant. The last call, I remember I was pretty angry, but with perspective, right? Because we don't want to become a club that swims in negativity. And there seems to be a lot. And you know what? Knee-jerk reactions and hindsight's a great thing. And after a game, we feel like crap. But everyone the next morning, you know, even when you guys do your takeaways, you find positives within the game. We didn't get battered 3-0. Some of these callers are coming on like we got battered 3-0. We were 1-0 up until the last few minutes. Nobody's battered us this season. You tell me one team that's taken us to the cleaners, not one. So that's a positive, right? Yes, we've had one of the best starts ever. Yes, we've had some of the best clean sheet records in the start of the season. If there are a lot of positives when we talk about the bigger picture to take, then negatives. It's just luck's not gone our way. Last week, Vardy headers that onto Alderweireld and it goes in. You know, we've run out of luck a little bit, and luck goes up and down in the season, guys. We were riding the luck curve in the first few games. We're now taking the other side of that coin. It will come back. We just got to believe in them, and we've just got to give Mourinho time to get his system right. And remember, the subs play a key role in the outcome of a game now, especially with more subs. And he still might want to have a couple of players on the bench that he doesn't have, that he'll go in and get January. So no one's battered us. It's not as bad as it seems. Would we have taken fifth at this time in the season? I think we would have. Do you know why? Because we class ourselves as a top 6 team, right? We want to be in the top 4 again. So if we're fifth, is that really that bad, considering like we're in it? We're still in it. We're not 10th. We're not 11th. So I think whilst we can pick at fine margins, no one's really taken us to the cleaners, and we're right in it, and we're just a little bit of luck away from getting it right again. And that comes down to clinical, that comes down to stupid little errors, but it swings in roundabouts, guys. Yeah, it's a long season. Like, you know, let's not get, we're acting like the season ends tomorrow, you know. I feel it's a bit negative.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. That's a great call again, Josh. Absolutely brilliant.
Onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards. Let's do it. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Blues.
Always love ending with a bit of positivity from Josh, as always. Great call, as always. And I think we've had a few good calls tonight. So, yeah, thank you to everyone that has called in. That is it from us, from the fan show. We have drawn 1-1 with Wolves. Another late goal conceded from a set piece. But no stopping, because in a couple of days' time, I think it's 3 days' time, we have got Fulham on Wednesday night for the last game of 2020, where we can say goodbye to 2020 finally and welcome in the new year. I think first game of the new year, we got Leeds on the 2nd of January. So We have to get 6 points in our next 2 games. We have to.
No excuses.
No excuses, exactly. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs!